Yo, what's up and welcome back to the channel. This is CM13 and today we're embarking on an immersive journey into the enchanting realm of Dragon's Dogma 2. If you didn't know it yet, Dragon's Dogma 2 is releasing on PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and on Steam in just a few months. And I gotta say, I'm really excited about this game since I did play the first one and it's been a long time coming. I've been a huge fan of Capcom over the years with Monster Hunter, Resident Evil, and Devil May Cry consistently getting installments. So Dragon's Dogma 2 is definitely something I look forward to. We're going to be diving deep into everything we know about the game so far and what we can expect once the game releases. First, let's talk about the 4 starting vocations that will be available at the start of the game. Then we'll discuss more about the advanced vocations later on based on what Capcom has revealed so far. First in line is the fighter. Fighters are the epitome of mastery in close combat. Their expertise lie in safeguarding your companions while inflicting substantial damage on your enemies. Fighters will generally function as kind of a bruiser at the start of the game, tanking hits with your shield and retaliating with your sword. And yes, they did bring back parrying with your shield, so it's definitely something we players can utilize early on. We also saw in one of the recent showcases that they're bringing back the taunt ability for the fighter, which really helps highlight the tank bruiser playstyle of the fighter. This is something that will definitely help protect your allies by keeping yourself in the front line and dealing with enemies head on. The second vocation is the archer. As you can tell from the name, it's a vocation that uses a bow and arrow to deal damage from afar with an arsenal of arrow types. An example is this arrow that pulls enemies in and then explodes. They specialize in ranged combat and have a lot of tactical options to engage enemies effectively, dealing constant damage from afar. For the third vocation, let's delve into the realm of sorcery with the mage. Mages use magic to deal damage to enemies, specializing in long-range spells and invaluable support abilities like healing or buffing your allies. They showcased a bunch of abilities for the mage, but I do think this is one of the vocations that would be a bit slower in the early game compared to its counterparts. But of course, it would still depend on how Capcom ends up balancing the damage for all the vocations. Transitioning over to the fourth vocation, the thief. If you love stealth and being slick and mobile, going in and out of fights, and just overall fast and deadly, this vocation is for you. Thieves wield 2 daggers to exploit enemies' vulnerabilities, so they rely on having a strategic playstyle to take advantage of openings for maximum impact. And from what we've seen in the showcase, it looks like the swift step ability of the thief is indeed an iframe. So this is something players can take advantage of when playing the thief once the game releases. Now that we've discussed all 4 of the starting vocations, Capcom has revealed 5 advanced vocations so far: the Mystic Spearhand, Magic Archer, the Trickster, Warrior, and Sorcerer. Starting off with the Mystic Spearhand, and I have to say that this vocation looks insane. Wielding a fusion of magic and physical attacks, the Mystic Spearhand offers a versatile combat style adaptable for both melee and ranged engagements. On the other hand, Magic Archers specialize in potent, long-range, and AoE magical assaults. From magically guided arrows, a huge erupting heal cloud, and this crazy arrow barrage that deals crazy damage but reduces your maximum HP. Up next is the Trickster. This vocation is for those players who like to play mind games on their enemies or just love to play with their food. And this vocation uses a thurible as a weapon and uses the smoke to create illusions to confuse enemies. Plus points to Capcom for creativity. Players can use these illusions to have enemies attack each other or form giant rock illusions to block enemies while dealing damage to them. They also showcase the Trickster summoning a dragon to shoot a griffin out of the sky. The Sorcerer and Warrior was also showcased by Capcom, and they revealed this insane spell by the Sorcerer summoning a comet from the sky to hit the Dullahan, and it looks like the spell was cast between 2 sorcerers casting the same spell. On the other hand, they showcased the Warrior doing this charged attack on top of the Drake, which caused the Drake to topple. Very bold stuff so far. Now let's bask in the breathtaking beauty and diverse landscapes revealed by Capcom so far in the world of Dragon's Dogma 2. The adventure unfolds across 2 compelling realms. First, Vermund, a picturesque human kingdom adorned with lush rolling hills, and Batal, a rugged canyon nation teeming with diverse cultures and landscapes. Though it was mentioned by Capcom that the setting in Dragon's Dogma 2 happens to be in a parallel world, The overall atmosphere and feel of the game really resonates with the previous one, and players who have played the first game will definitely feel right at home. Let's discuss gameplay mechanics and features that have been revealed so far. As with any other ARPG, quests are a huge part of the gameplay element, and I love the way they've incorporated quests in this game, with NPCs calling out to you from a distance to get your attention. This style heavily contributes to the immersion of the game, so props to Capcom for doing this right, since there are a lot of games out there that get it wrong. While going on quests, you can have up to 3 AI-controlled companions called pawns, offering their invaluable assistance from helping you fight, giving you advice, all the way to catching you when you're falling from the sky. They can also translate other languages for you that you don't understand, which again is an amazing contributor to the immersion factor. Pawns can also have specializations they can use to help you in your adventures. As you can see, Peter here can interpret Elvish for the Arisen. Players can also utilize ox carts to expedite travel, but keep on guard since there may be monsters that attack on the way to your destination. Another feature that makes its return is the very realistic nighttime that can only be seen in a limited amount of titles. And it gets real dark in Dragon's Dogma 2, with the light only coming from the player's light sources like lanterns and campfires. They also made major improvements to the character creator, making it as in-depth as possible. Players can now modify how their character looks in a million different ways using photogrammetry technology, allowing players to create photorealistic characters. They also featured 3 awesome bosses in the showcase, namely the Drake, Dullahan, and Talos, and I love the design of each of these bosses, and they all look awesome in their own right. The Drake is basically a powerful dragon that breathes fire and can manipulate magic. The Dullahan is a knight covered in spiritual flame, holding his own head in his hand, and has a crescent-shaped sword that will probably also take your head off. And Talos is just a huge bronze giant that comes from the ocean like Godzilla, destroying everything in its path. Dragon's Dogma 2 is releasing on March 22nd, 2024 on PS5, Xbox Series S and X, and on PC via Steam. And you can now pre-order the standard edition to get all the bonuses shown on the screen. And I don't know about you, but all that gear sounds good to me. You can also get bonus items and the Ring of Assurance if you pre-order the deluxe edition, which I did end up getting for myself. If this video helped you out, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and share it with a friend to help them out. And don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell to be notified of my latest uploads. If you're planning to pre-order or get the game when it releases, I would love to hear your thoughts about it so far down in the comments. Once again, this is TM13. I'll see you guys in the next video.